the 7 levels of sci-fi, or what I just decided to passionately talk about. So in no particular order, but just without being like, oh, hey, 7 different genres of sci-fi, I'm just going to talk about each level in no particular order, talk about the movies that are maybe associated with it, and talk about like what's good, what's bad about them, and just in general rant. So level 1, hard science. So when I talk about hard science, I mean movies like Contact, The Martian, and Children of Men. So basically like movies that could be real, like a lot of the science is real, makes sense, isn't like super fantastical, even though like obviously there's some crazy stuff that happens in The Martian, or the fact that what's her name in Contact like shoots to another dimension through the whole thing, through the little transporter teleporter thing, which honestly is like a super cool concept. And I love how at the end they're like, oh, you didn't even like travel, you fell through the thing. But then there's like, 3 hours of footage or whatever of her talking to the guy. Carl Sagan, he did that series before Neil deGrasse Tyson did. Super good series. If you like science, like space and stuff like that, check it out. I'll put the name of it here because I can't remember. What I like and dislike about the hard science genre is, well, I like that a lot of it is realistic. There's parts that are like how they get in contact with the aliens and how they like decode all the messaging, and how they have like the original like stuff that they sent out, and then the aliens send them back stuff, and then the aliens tell them like, hey, here's how to build the spaceship to leave. Like in Martian, how Matt Damon communicates with like people back Earth. There's like the time difference, and he uses the little robot to like move and like read different letters. And then obviously like there's all the fantastical parts where the crew turns around to go save him. Let's be honest, if that was real life, they would have just said the guy died. Like, they are not going to waste money, time, resources, anything like that to go save Matt Damon yet again. So Saving Private Ryan Part 2 is what no, I'm just kidding. What I dislike, I guess that's the part I dislike about the hard science, is there's just some stuff that like it's too outlandish for hard science. Like I said, with them going back to go save him, like that's just not realistic. It's not like unrealistic, but for like how humanity actually is, how the United States works, yada yada yada. Like, bro, they're not spending time, money, or anything. Like, there would be a like DOA. That guy would have been dead. No one would have ever said anything. And if some reason like NASA or whatever was getting these messages from this dude, that would not be public. Like, it would just be like, hush hush, bye, see you later. So genre number 2, one of my more favorite genres, space opera. I'm talking Star Trek, I'm talking Star Wars, I'm talking Stargate I don't know, there's too many. Orville, low key, really good show. Pretty funny, but also like kind of like interesting concepts, subjects. Good comedy, some like heartbreaking stuff in there, but another good one. A couple other classics. You got Mass Effect, probably one of the better space opera things in my opinion. Dune as well. I think Dune kind of like falls into like one of the older ones because of the books, but then like there's the movies and then there's the remakes, and I will be honest, I haven't seen Dune 2 yet, so yeah. Space opera is exactly what it sounds like. It is, well, there may not be opera music. It's just like shows or movies that are based in outer space, and all the different sci-fi intricacies, and there's a lot of like really good world building in these, in stuff like Star Trek, Star Wars, Dune. It's just this other, like, humans are always involved in some sort of way, but it's a really cool subject. I think that there is just like infinite amount of possibilities. I think that some of the, I guess what you would call like Star Trek-esque stuff is a bit overdone. I think that we need to get into, I think that we need some new shows, new world building in the space opera genre, and some new movies. Like let's 2001: A Space Odyssey, like my like number one sci-fi movie. Super slow, but like just beyond its years as a movie, as a concept, and the art in it is just like out of this world. Obviously, it's an inspiration for a lot of the music I make, as I like having the monolith in every single one of my album covers. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the space opera genre. So number 3 on the sci-fi sub-genre list is post-apocalyptic. We're talking Mad Max. We're talking I Am Legend. We're talking Waterworld. We're talking Planet of the Apes. Also, just like all these other genres, pretty self-explanatory. What I like about the sci-fi post-apocalyptic stuff is I think that there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. I think you could consider like the Matrix part of that. I think the original Planet of the Apes is an interesting like kind of concept on that, because they think they're going to a different world, but then they realize like that they're on Earth. And so I think that the post-apocalyptic sci-fi genre is it's pretty cool. I mean, you got stuff like Fallout, for instance, the show, the video games. What I like about Fallout specifically is it's like your retro post-apocalyptic. So not like saying, oh, it's like, stuff that happened in the year 2026 and it's like 2025 right now. It's like, oh, this could have happened in, or a different, whatever. I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. But I think what is cool about like the sci-fi post-apocalyptic subgenre is just how many different things you can do with it, and that sometimes it doesn't always have to be boo-hoo, end of the world stuff. It can just be like there's a different race that lives on this planet now and they own and operate it. And then there's also just like racing cars and blowing stuff up, which is always like hell yeah, dude stuff. So, all right. Sci-fi subgenre level 4, dude. Aliens. I'm talking aliens. I'm talking Alien versus Predator. That's the only alien. No, I'm just kidding. Aliens obviously is like the big one. Predator, also sick movie. John Carpenter's The Thing. Like when we're getting into cosmic horror type stuff, like cosmic horror has got to be one of the best, I think, scariest horror genres, because it deals with like the sci-fi aspect of it, and because it's sci-fi, it's like, dude, the universe is a big place. That could definitely be a thing. So I think like my favorite movie in the sci-fi genre would definitely have to be John Carpenter's The Thing. It's a timeless classic. It really just, there's a feeling of like dread, horror, like unawareness, you don't know. What I love about the alien subgenre is it is just also, you can just do anything, go anywhere with it. I really like when I like sci-fi horror movies have to be my favorite, because dealing with aliens can always be like, they don't have to be scary, and like they could almost be human, and like that can be scary, or they can be these grotesque like monsters. and that can be scary. And it's like it takes like there's a little bit of it takes the realism out, but it also is that like never know. So that's what I like about it. What I dislike about it is a lot of tropes, a lot of like every alien is bad. I think that there's a lot of lazy aliens. Star Wars has a lot of lazy aliens. Humanoids, kind of like Mass Effect kind of has some lazy aliens. Everyone's very humanoid, bipedal. Star Wars, none of the main characters have more than 2 legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is like kind of a crappy trope about alien movies. Obviously, it's because it's just cheaper to just throw some dude in a suit and be like, oh, wow, alien. He has tentacles coming out of his head, but he looks human. It's lazy. I think it can be done a lot better. I think that we're in a new world of CGI, and if people would just put a little bit more, like, I don't know, time, effort, money into it instead of just like cheaping out, I think it could be cool. I also think that more movies need to go towards, what's it called? Practical effects. Dude, alien horror movies with practical effects will be far superior to CGI. Watch John Carpenter's The Thing, and then watch the movie The Thing that came out in like 2011, and you'll be like, yeah, John Carpenter's The Thing is like way scarier because it just feels real. It's grotesque. It's tangible, where like CGI has that uncanny valley where you're like, that's not real. That's a computer that made that. That's what I have to say about the alien subgenre. Sick concept, but like we need some originality. We need some originality soon. Level 5 is time bending. So Back to the Future, the butterfly effect, Arrival. I know there's aliens in it, but it's also time travel-y. Just watch the movie. It makes sense. You'll understand. The movie Terminator, like I said before, the original Planet of the Apes. I don't know if they're going to eventually do it with this one, because like they allude to like a spaceship taking off in like the first movie. You kind of hear a little bit about it this, here, and that. I haven't seen the most recent one, so maybe it's brought up in there. Who knows? But in the original one, these astronauts go to outer space, and then they go to this planet, and they're like, there's all these like apes are around, but they speak English, and you know they're like kind of tribal and blah 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 blah. And then they find out like, oh, it's planet Earth, and obviously there's no explanation in that one, but like they think it's, I don't know, cross timelines or whatever. Obviously, you know, the new ones, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really watched them straight through. I'm going on a rant here, but and then you got like movie like Edge of Tomorrow, like really cool time loop concept. I love it. It doesn't have to be all like, you know. I think the thing about like that's hard about any sort of time loop concept movie, show, whatever, is you're always going to get the people who are like, well, actually, bro, it's a movie. Like, I think that you have to cut out some of the like, don't overthink it, because unless it's a movie that is like trying to make that loop make sense, sometimes the loop, I feel like it doesn't have to make sense as long as it's not like cosmically like broken. Like it's like, actually that doesn't, like, if it makes sense for the most part, just like roll with it, enjoy the movie, like watch aliens get blown up, watch the humans win, as we always should, just like human supremacy, whatever. But that's what I like about it. I like cool time loop movies. I like some of them that make you think. I don't like when they're done poorly, but I also don't like to overthink if they are not done perfectly, you know, like whatever, Terminator and all this, like the endless loop kind of stuff. But still, like it's cool. I like it as a concept. It's not too overdone. Maybe with like I think retconning like Marvel stuff because of time loops and what is it called? Like alternate dimension stuff is lazy writing. I will say that, but still cool concept. All right, so for level 6 or 6 subgenre, biopunk. I was kind of running out of ideas on this one, but Jurassic Park is a good kind of like sci-fi thing, you know, like the guy found the mosquito with the DNA and then he made the things. And from what I've heard, the books actually, I think that they're like dinosaurs, but then they turn into, what are they called in Pacific Rim? Kaiju or something like that. I don't know. They turn into like the big like Pacific Rim type monsters. That's what I heard that the book is like. But, you know, Jurassic Park, still cool, classic. Dinosaurs, like, who's going to hate on that? Planet of the Apes, the new ones. Like I said, I can't remember if the originals go into it, but obviously, like, you know, the chemicals that make the monkeys think and are smart, and then they pass it on, and then, you know, they take over the world. So it's just not very human supremacy of them, but, you know. Yeah, Splice, I can't really remember much about that movie. It was just like one of the only other ones I could think on this genre. But yeah, I think what's cool about it is dinosaurs and monkeys with guns. What I don't like about it is science. It's gone too far. Have scientists gone too far? You tell me. And then number 7, dude, the banger military sci-fi movies. I'm talking Starship Troopers. I'm talking Avatar. Yeah, dude, honestly, we went in there and rocked that place. They're not taking us down with bows and arrows. It's just not happening. But, you know, like, Pocahontas has to win, of course. Halo. Ender's Game. Dude, Warhammer 40K, dude. Dude, human supremacy. We own the galaxy, okay? We kill all the aliens. And we just win every time. Like, dude, I mean, I know all you guys are playing Helldivers 2 right now. Just killing bugs and robots. Like, humans for the win every time. What I like about military sci-fi, always cool stuff, always like, dang, look at that ship, that would be really cool. And then like in real life when the military tries to do something like that and then it just like sucks, that's always like cool. What I don't like about military sci-fi movies is when the humans don't win, because we always win. So make more movies where the humans are dominating. Well, anyways, thanks for checking this out. If you guys liked it, cool. Tell me you liked it. I will try and talk about other stuff. If you hated it, I mean, that's fair. I copied this concept from someone else. The levels don't make any sense. It's just for me to keep track of so I can rant and stay on track and talk about something I care about deeply. All right. Bye.